Good morning from Champlain, New York. You're watching What's Going On Here. I'm Bob Venn, and we have as a guest Father Joseph Mukasa. Is that right?
Yes.
From Uganda. And this is going to be part of a couple or three interviews we're going to have on the Mission Center here at the St. Mary's Mission Center on Oak Street in Champlain, New York. And this portion is with Father, and we're going to be kind of speeding it up because Father's leaving this afternoon from our area. He's been here for over a month, maybe 2 months, and I've been a little lax in getting up here. Calvin Castine on the camera as usual. You're watching Channel 21, Hometown Cable. Welcome, Father, or I should say goodbye, I guess.
Whatever, yes.
All right, Father, when did you get to Champlain? How long have you been here?
I've been here for 2 months now.
2 months. Have you ever been here before?
I was here before, first in 74. After my studies in Canada, I came here for about a month, and then went back home, and I came back in 84 for another month here.
This is your second home?
Yeah, exactly.
You like it here?
Very much so, very much so.
I think
Yes.
we saw you in 84 in church. I think you said Mass once in 84 here.
I did.
Yes, and
Yes,
I saw you
did.
in church
Yes,
then and didn't
that's
get to
right.
meet you then.
Yeah.
Father, just a little bit about your background. I want to tell you, up here, the home is Rita LaBombard, and there's numerous people here, and they have visiting priests and missionaries come in often, and maybe we'll get a chance to speak to someone else also. But
Yes.
where in Uganda are you from?
I come from the central part of Uganda, near the capital.
Mm-hmm.
The place where I was born is called Katende Parish, Luvumbula, and I grew there up to the age of 15. When I completed my primary education, I joined the minor seminary of Kisubi, where I spent 7 years studying high school. After that, I was admitted to the major seminary of Katigondo, that is about 80 miles south of Kampala, west of Kampala.
Kampala is the capital,
That's
right?
right,
And that's
yes.
right on Lake Victoria.
That's right.
Now, I must admit that I do have a collection of National Geographics, and I did go to my Geographics last night. We only planned this from yesterday afternoon to find out where Uganda is, but I'm afraid there's a lot of people out there who maybe don't know where it is either.
Oh, yes.
And although this is going to be a little windy, we're outside. If Father can just hold this corner up with me,
Yeah.
can we just hold this like this? This is Africa
Yeah.
in general,
And Uganda is here.
and right in here. So you're here's Saudi Arabia and Iraq, which we heard a lot about earlier in the year, and right here is Uganda.
Yes.
And I have another map later. I'll show you closer. But one thing I want to mention, that right here, right straight through where the capital is the equator.
Exactly.
So-
yes, we live just on the equator.
I guess it would be a little foolish to ask you if it gets warm in Uganda.
It's always warm.
It's always warm.
Yes.
How warm does it get?
I won't be able to tell, but it is. I don't usually go by degrees.
You don't go by degrees,
Yes.
but it's very warm.
Very warm. Yes.
Well, we were
That's
having-
just like your summer here.
Okay.
Yes, the time I've been here, it is very similar to the weather we have at home.
It isn't any warmer than this at home? No?
Sometimes it's a bit warmer, but usually it is like this. Yes.
We just had a little discussion here. They said we should have had on television. I've been trying to get in the shade, and Father, of course, likes it a little bit warmer, and Calvin said it would be better pictures out here where,
That's right.
so we're here, we're sitting in the
That's
sun,
right,
and we're in the backyard at Oak Street. And, all right, Father, if you had not gone to the seminary, would you have gone to high school someplace?
I couldn't imagine that, but I could have because my father was able to take me to high school, just like my other brothers, elder brothers, and the young brothers went to high school. But it was from the beginning that I wanted to join a seminary and become a priest.
What did your father do? What's his occupation?
He was a peasant farmer. He happened to have many cows. I remember whenever we were going back to school, he used to sell about 2 or 3 cows in order to get money for our school fees, and then he would send us back to school.
What's the kind of money you have in Uganda?
We have British, system. We have shillings.
Shillings?
Yeah,
All right.
shillings, yes.
So originally, I guess for many years, it was a British protectorate or whatever. Can we call it that?
Yes, exactly.
And then I think until about 1962 when
you got independence.
Independence.
Yes.
And then somewhere along in that area, in the 70s, I think, Idi Amin, how do I say that?
That's right, Idi Amin.
Idi Amin, we've seen him on television, was in charge or was
right,
the president or the ruler of Uganda, and then he was overturned, and then there's been a lot of tribal fightings within Uganda. We're not going to get into the political part of this.
Not so much tribal, but there have been sort of civil wars.
Civil wars. And maybe
to get off one president and get another.
Okay.
That's the sort of problems we have.
And a lot of people were killed. Many people were killed.
Yes.
And not only were they killed, the ones that weren't killed had very many hardships, right?
Yes.
Did this affect your family much, your own family?
Very much so. My own family was displaced for over 4 years from their own location. They were displaced and they went to different areas. My own father I had a chance of taking care of my father and mother, but some of my brothers went to different areas and we never thought we would meet again. Thank God we managed to, we were all saved.
Okay.
We could see one another after the war.
When you say they're displaced, they weren't brought any place. They went on their own to leave the area to be safe, right?
They could not remain. They just couldn't remain in the area because there was fighting, bombing of villages and houses. So people had to flee the area, from the area. There was no choice. One had to leave the area, otherwise he would be dead.
When you were growing up, did you have enough to eat? That's a silly question, but I don't mean it.
We had enough to eat. Most of the families can have enough food, but what we lack, most of the families lack, is perhaps nutritious foods, because some families rarely get meat or milk or eggs, food like that. But we have bananas, sweet potatoes, cassava, beans. Cassava is a type of roots.
Okay.
Roots. Yes.
You don't get much meat then, right?
Not much meat. Not many families get enough meat. Yeah.
On a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, 1 being the most money and 10 being the lowest, where would a peasant farmer fall, say, in that? Any idea?
Maybe it would be about $30 income per month.
But $30
yes, per
income
month.
a month. But is that a lot of money in Uganda?
No.
So you're saying he'd be down pretty far down the scale?
Including all what he earns within a month.
Okay.
Yes, that would be about $30
now,
to be able to eat and to be able to live. Yes.
Now, you said your brothers went to high school, and you would have probably got... How far away would you have had to go to get to high school from where you lived?
Oh, we had to walk 3.5 miles to the school where we could have gone for education.
For high school, too?
Yes, there is high school there.
Okay.
There's high school there. Yes.
Are the British still in Uganda very much? Do they teach, or is it mostly your own Ugandese?
Ugandans. Most of the teachers are Ugandans, but you find here and there a few.
Okay.
Other people,
let me just get in. First of all, I took a few notes. I have the area of Uganda as 91,000 square miles. Kansas, for instance, in the United States, is 81,000. New York State is 47,000 square miles. It gives you an idea. Nearly twice the size of the state of New York is the country of Uganda. The population, I understand, I had 15 and a half. You think it's 17 million, which is about the population of New York State. So you would have to say that there's probably only half as populated per square mile there as it is here. Right? There are a lot of areas where there are no people at all in Uganda?
Not many, except far in the north. I mean, you find areas where there are not many people, but in the central areas, most of the areas are densely populated. Yes, at least in the area where I live.
You know, we think of Africa as being wild animals and dangerous. You have many wild animals in Uganda?
There are in the park or in the zoo.
But they're all
not moving around anywhere.
Okay, so they aren't about to come onto your farm where you used to live in when you're cutting the corn? No, they didn't do that.
Except animals like monkeys.
Yes.
Monkeys are spread all over. But other wild animals, no. People grow without having ever seen one.
Okay.
Or having seen a lion or an elephant.
So we know that, and now doctors. I also read that there's very few doctors for a number of people. I read in a recent Geographic that it said one doctor for every 22,000 people.
It is possible. Yes, it is possible.
What's the average expectancy of life in Uganda?
I think it would be between 45 and 50.
That's all you can expect.
That's what I think.
Hard work, hard living.
Hard living, bad conditions of living, and many other causes, factors. That's why we are very much involved in trying to improve the conditions of living for the people.
Okay.
Especially the church. I mean, the government and the church are working together hand in hand, and they are doing their best to improve conditions of living for the people so that at least the span of life expectancy can be prolonged.
Now, what about the children when they're born? Is there a big mortality in young children?
There used to be a very big mortality until recently, because there were certain diseases that were deadly to children before the age of 5. But now the government and the churches have done a great work to explain to parents that they have to take their children to dispensaries, hospitals, to be immunized, for immunization. And that has helped quite a great deal.
So the churches, like yourself as a priest, and you have a parish?
Actually, I don't have a parish, but I work for parishes. The diocese consists of 58 parishes, and as a director for social and economic development, I visit all the different parishes, trying to meet the leaders of the people, especially leaders who promote social issues among the communities.
So you aren't only teaching religion, you're trying to teach better living conditions.
Exactly, this.
And which is one of the reasons why you're over here now, right?
Exactly, yes.
That's right. I show you a typical, I guess in a certain area, an area of a tea field. Some of the exports from Uganda are coffee, cotton,
yes,
and tea.
Yes.
And this is a farm, and I assume these are the homes or the barracks where the people are living while they're picking the tea.
That's right.
And another picture I saw in here that is very typical is this, which is a little morbid, but this is a bicycle, and there's a body being carried because
that should be the most common means of transport for most of the people, in rural areas. But even then, many people cannot afford to buy bicycles, because we try to help people so that they earn enough money to be able to buy bicycles, but not many can afford bicycles.
I have a picture here, of course, that I guess this is within a park or a zoo?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Lots of elephants.
We get a number of tourists who come to visit the zoos. The zoo, and enjoy such beautiful scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of tourists? Is tourists a big
These days
income?
We have, I think it is one of the good income we have. Yes.
You know, I saw a movie recently, and it was talking about Entebbe. And there was a raid on Entebbe, it's called. Was that the Entebbe they're talking about? I think they were trying to make a raid to recover some people who were captured.
Hostages, that was during the time of Idi Amin.
Okay, and Entebbe was the... Okay, they were there.
That's where we have the airport, the main airport.
Okay.
And that's where...
And that's just outside of the capital?
About 24 miles away.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been a priest, Father?
I will be 25 this December.
25 years?
25 years, yes. I was ordained in 66 December, 11th December. So this December I will be 25 years priest.
How many priests do you have? Any idea in Uganda?
We are about 200 and
200 in the whole?
Yes, in the diocese.
In the diocese, but there's more than one diocese?
We have 16 dioceses in Uganda, Kampala Archdiocese being the metropolitan diocese.
So some of your diocese is out in what we would call the countryside and not just in the city. Is that right?
Even Kampala Archdiocese is, of course, the capital of the diocese is in the city, but the greater part of the diocese is in the rural area. Almost 95% of the population of the archdiocese live in the rural areas.
Father, you speak very good English. How long have you learned English?
I learned English especially in the seminary. First in the primary, 1 year in the primary, and then the rest in the seminary. And
is there a lot of English in Uganda?
There is, yes, there is. Many people can speak English, although in the rural areas, not many people would speak English. But there are
a lot of Christians in Uganda too, are there?
Questions?
Christians or Catholics?
Yes.
Other Christians? Yeah.
About over 60%, I think, of the total population is Christian.
Is that right?
Yes, is Christian, yes. Is Christian. There is.
Are there many missionaries from the United States in Uganda now at all?
There are a few, especially among the Anglican Church. There are many missionaries from the States here.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have a few among the Catholic. We have recently received the Jesuits who came from America.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, are your parents still living, Father?
No.
Neither one?
Mother is still living, but father is dead.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, where would your mother be living? Does she have her own little house?
Yes, in the village.
Where she was brought up?
Yes. No, where our father lived.
Where your father lived. Now, and she live alone?
No, with some of my brothers. Some of my brothers are nearby, about 3 of them, and then her grandchildren are staying with her. About 3 of them are staying with her.
How many were there in your family?
It was 17 children.
17 children. You didn't have to hire any workers, did you? Huh?
We had to earn our own living. But,
yes. Are there any?
Our parents were very hard-working people. They were very hard-working people. So they managed to feed us and to raise us up well, yes.
How old was your father when he died?
He was 84.
Oh, he lived he kept the average up.
That's right, yes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It is now about 4 years since he died. He died after the war.
What?
He had great problems during the war, yes, but he died after.
If the living expectancy is 50 years,
yes,
what takes more lives than anything else? You don't get hit by cars.
Not many.
No?
Yes.
And you don't have too many airplane crashes.
No.
What do they die of? Just malnutrition?
I think malnutrition affects our life very greatly. It affects our life greatly. It affects physical life and the span of living, because it is important. That's why, according to the program of the diocese, we are putting much stress on trying to help people improve their feeding habits. We have a project whereby we try to give 1 cow to a family. Actually, the
parish does that?
The diocese.
The diocese?
Yes, the diocese. Actually, we were assisted by the Catholic Relief Services of America last year. We received 50 cows, and we distributed those to 50 families. But we wanted to continue with the same. So we are now trying to raise some funds that we can buy at least 100 heifers next year and distribute them to 100 families. By so doing, we help families get milk. And besides milk, they can get manure for their soil, so that the soil
fertilizer
is enriched. And the families nearby can buy some milk from this 1 cow. So with 1 cow, a lot of families are assisted with that 1 cow. And the family gets some surplus from the sales of milk to be able to take children to school.
Okay. if a person does not have a cow and he's going to buy milk, what does that person do for a living? The people nearby, the farmer, what does he do for a living?
He may grow corn,
Mhm.
then he sells the corn and buy some milk.
Mhm.
Or he may grow sweet potatoes, which will be taken especially to the city, and then he gets some money to buy soap and the rest, and then buy some milk. That's how most of the families in the rural areas and they are living.
You're watching Hometown Cable. I'm Bob Venn. You've seen me, but this pleasant gentleman on my right here is Father Joseph Mukasa from Uganda. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back to you. And thanks very much for watching Hometown Cable tonight and every night. Certainly a pleasure talking with you, Father. We should have been up here before.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is the map of Uganda itself, right on Lake Victoria, and the capital, which is Kampala,
Yes.
is right here, and that's the diocese headquarters is there.
Kampala.
And then you're just in this area above here, right?
Yes, that's right, yes.
And remember, it's twice the size of New York State, give or take, and about the same population as the state of New York. And this is their flag.
Yes.
The equator runs between Entebbe and Kampala. It's right on the equator, so to speak.
That's right. Yeah.
And Father, you came over about 2 months ago here.
Yes.
Now, how did you get here? How did you leave Uganda? What did you do? Did you leave from Kampala?
No, I had to leave from Entebbe. Entebbe is
All
our
right.
airport. Of course, I left from Kampala to Entebbe.
Okay.
Then I flew to Nairobi by Kenya Airways, and then from there I took KLM to Amsterdam to Montreal. Then Montreal, the house here, the center here, brought me from Montreal to here, and I've been here since then.
Now, are you raising funds while you're here? Or are you trying to get information on agriculture, or just what is your main purpose? Except you need a vacation.
Yeah.
What's your main purpose for coming over like this?
My main purpose was threefold mostly. First of all, to visit friends, because I have friends here in America, and they are the people who helped me somehow. So I came to visit with them. Second, it is an educational trip for me. I came in order to gather ideas that can help me to improve my performance in the work I'm doing, to get more ideas about how to help the people in Uganda to improve their conditions of living. Then, the third reason is to raise some funds, especially for our development programs. The Archdiocese has several programs for social and economic development, but we fail to implement those programs because of lack of funds. For example, we have a very important program that is adult education. As we were talking a little bit earlier, people need to know how to improve their agricultural production. I work with a team of 9 experts. One is an expert in agriculture, another one an expert in health, another one in livestock, and some others. So with that team, we go around the diocese to meet the leaders of each parish to help them learn ways of helping other people to improve their conditions of living.
Is that there are priests at each parish you go to?
Usually, yes.
And you talk to them and the leaders of the people.
That's right. That's right.
Do you say Mass every day? Once
yes,
you do?
I do. Yes, I do.
So you are traveling most of the time,
most of the
by
time
car?
Yes, it was some of the friends here in 84 when I was here, especially in the area Colorado. I was in Colorado for a month, and the friends there helped me to get a double cabin pickup. That's what I use with the team to go around.
A team?
A team of 9 people.
All right. Now tell me, how did you meet people in Colorado?
I think it is by God's providence that helped me to meet people. Because, yes, we happened to meet. I attend many conferences when I come over here. So at a certain conference, I met a priest there who invited me to go to his parish Reverend Father William Breslin. So he called me and I went to visit him. And within his parish, the parishioners gathered some money that helped me to buy a pickup.
Yeah, and you stayed there for
a month. Yes, yeah. That was in '84.
I suppose today you have mixed feelings, wanting to get home to see your people and hating to leave. You've enjoyed yourself while you were here?
I have, yes, I have. It has been a very pleasant stay here.
Okay.
I've met several people, very nice people, and I visited several places of interest.
I understand you were over to Shelburne, the Shelburne Farms, right?
I did, yes.
And I saw part of a video that you were talking, and they were very good to you. They told you a lot of information.
That's right. I gathered quite a lot of information about livestock. Yeah.
Right. In the past, Father, the Mission Center has picked up a lot of clothes and has sent clothes to Africa, to Peru, to other places. Do they send clothes to Uganda?
They sent clothes to Uganda once in '75, just after I had left from here. They sent us a number of barrels for cloth, but afterwards it was proved to be very expensive, so they discontinued.
Yeah, I happened to come in just as you were talking in the kitchen, and apparently you may have one extra.
Yes.
You happen to have one extra
that
suitcase.
contains some of the books I have gathered here and there, because I've been doing sort of research. When I went to Minor Institute, I collected a number of very good information. When I went to the Shelburne Bonds, I collected good information. So I have a few books with me, and that brings the extra.
Oh yeah. Now you can only bring so much on an overseas flight, and when you get more than that, you have to pay.
That's
because of this one suitcase extra.
Yeah.
What do they want? How much?
$150
extra for one suitcase to get it from here to Uganda. Now remember, you're going to go back from Montreal to Amsterdam to Nairobi.
Yes,
Nairobi back to
Entebbe. Yeah.
But now you are leaving out of Montreal Monday?
No, Sunday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
And when will you be home?
I hope to be home on Tuesday at 12:30.
12:30 at noon.
Noon, yes.
All right. What time is it at home right now? Do you know how much difference in time?
8 hours, 7 hours ahead.
7 hours ahead of here, right?
Yes.
So right now it's 7 p.m. at night.
Most probably.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. tonight in Uganda.
Yes, that's right.
What is the first thing you're going to do when you get back to Uganda? Have any idea? Go to bed, I guess. But do you have to report like to your diocese,
bishop?
Your bishop?
Bishops. I have the archbishop. I mean, he allowed me to come here, and he knows what I'm doing here. So I'm going to meet him on Wednesday, most probably. Then tell him what I've done while I'm here. And then I meet another bishop who is the pastoral coordinator. He coordinates all the pastoral programs of the diocese. Then speak to him also and tell him what I've done while I'm here. And then get a meeting. I have the diocesan planning committee, which I will have to meet very soon, and then discuss my findings with them. And then
now,
later on
there are 200 priests in your diocese. Do they make trips like this too?
I wouldn't say.
Not as much, huh?
No, not many of them. Not many of them. A few of them may, but not many.
How did you happen to come the first time?
The first time my bishop sent me to Canada to study for 1 year. That was in 73, 74. So
religion? You're talking religion study?
It was religion, but mostly it was social studies.
Okay.
I took community development and pastoral, social pastoral theology. So after the studies, it was during the studies that I met a priest of this diocese, Ogdensburg Diocese, Father Joseph Tremblay.
Oh yes.
Who invited me to come and visit him. He was then at Cooperville.
Yes.
At the parish priest there, pastor there. So I came and visited with him, and then went back to Africa. He introduced me to St. Mary's Center here. So after visiting with him, I came here for a few weeks, and then went back to Uganda. That was my beginning, with the first contact with America.
Right.
Yeah.
Father, comparing Uganda with other countries, many other countries in Africa, is there a big difference And if there is, what is it? Is it much the same, the living conditions?
More or less, except that Uganda, we have had many problems. For example, when we compare with Kenya, we have had many problems in the past. So in that way, Kenya has more opportunities than we have. But
more stable government, right? Because
yes,
people haven't turned over as often, right?
Yes, and so their economy is a bit ahead of ours in that way.
Father, it's certainly been a pleasure talking with you. Calvin, can you think of anything you'd like me to ask Father? Anything you can... is there anything you'd like to tell me that I haven't asked you?
Yeah.
What about here? Anything you'd like to say to the people out in our parish?
Yes, very much so.
Say something to our people.
On behalf of the Catholic Church in Uganda and on my own behalf, I would like to express my gratitude to the people of this country, especially in the area where I have stayed or where I have visited, for their hospitality. I've been very welcome everywhere I went, and I received very high hospitality. So I'm very grateful, and I think I will always keep praying for you, and I expect you to help to pray for me also.
Yes.
So
tell me, are we going to expect to see you again in the next 6 or 7 years?
I don't know, but that I leave to God. I don't know, but I'm very grateful, especially to Rita, Miss Rita here, LaBombard, for her hospitality. She has hosted me for over 2 months, and she has taken great care of me and everything. So I'm very grateful.
Thank you very much, Father. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and we wish you the very best of flight home, and we hope everything when you get back is in good condition, and that your mother and all the family are well, and that you continue to progress as a priest, and that your religion continues, and that all this knowledge you have that you brought back will be very good. Do you have grass like this at home?
We do.
Same type of a grass?
Not exactly like this grass, but we have it. This would be imported. I mean,
okay.
Yes.
What about crops like that? You can see a garden here.
Yes, we have cabbages, tomatoes, onions.
You get much difference in size or quality? About the same, or you get more sun than we do? So you probably have. You get a lot of rain.
Yes, we have plenty of rain, especially during February up to May, and then October up to the beginning of December, we have plenty of rain.
A lot of rain.
Yes.
Too much rain?
Not too much, but it's just balanced. Yes, just balanced. Yes.
Father, have a very good flight.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for.
Okay. You're watching our say goodbye to Father Joseph Makasa from Uganda, who's been here in the guest of the St. Mary's Mission Center for the past 2 months. He's on his way to Montreal today, where you're going to meet some more acquaintances up there and stay overnight up there, and we'll leave tomorrow at what time?
At 10:30 at night.
At night, tomorrow night, leaving, and we expect on Tuesday to be home after going to Amsterdam, Nairobi, and land in Entebbe, Uganda.
Yes.
And we wish him the very best of luck, and we hope that you'll continue to watch Hometown Cable every night. Of course, this is one segment of 2 or 3 we're going to have about St. Mary's Mission Center. We're going to talk to Rita LaBombard, unless we have already. We're not sure where we're going to put this segment as in contrast to the other 2 we're going to do. But we hope you enjoy it, and tell your friends to watch Hometown Cable every night, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, midnight, and again at 9 the following morning. And particularly, I encourage this show with Bob Venn on Sunday night. What's going on here? It's a pleasure to talk with you, and thanks for all your favorable comments.